Recognize me. My name is Mark Lee. I'm the staff attorney for the board. All right, this case involved a large horse named Allie that was taken to Texas A&M for a badly infected leg. The respondent was a clinician who performed surgery on the leg and was responsible for post-surgical care and treatment of the horse. The complaint alleged that the respondent failed to meet standard of care, performed unnecessary and unauthorized treatment, engaged in illegal animal cruelty by using a cattle prod to repeatedly shock Allie in an effort to get her to stand, and that she failed to keep adequate and truthful records. Now, all of these were related to the post-surgical care, not the surgery itself. A contested case hearing was held at SOAH from February 7th through 9th, 2023, in front of 2 administrative law judges who cooperated on the case. Staff submitted testimony of 10 witnesses and 8 exhibits, including a video which did not have audio, which depicted the use of the cattle prod. The respondent submitted the testimony of 3 witnesses and 3 exhibits. Testimony included 5 veterinarian experts who were not involved in the actual care of Allie. The ALJs issued a 152-page proposal for decision on August 22nd, 2023. The exceptions did not result in any change to the PFD. The ALJs found that the staff had proved all the allegations in the complaint. In the PFD, the ALJs went through the testimony of each witness individually and in detail and included reasons why they found each witness credible or not. They also segregated use of the cattle prod according to when it was used, where it was used on Allie, and as well as use of the sling and how that affected the respondent's actions. In other words, there was extensive analysis of the evidence that was documented in the PFD. The ALJs found that respondents' use of the cattle prod on Allie for almost a half an hour and the use of it on sensitive places on Allie was animal cruelty. They also found that respondents' use of the cattle prod was not adequately documented in the patient records and that those omissions were deliberate and dishonest. The violations were each Class A, and the ALJs analyzed the appropriate aggravating and mitigating factors. The ALJs recommended a 5-year suspension with 2 years active, a restriction on her practice requiring supervision for the remaining 3 years. They also recommended continuing education in the areas of record keeping, professional accountability, leadership, and or other topics the board deems appropriate. Finally, they recommended imposition of a $15,000 administrative penalty, and the staff recommends adopting the PFD as written.
Any questions for Mr. Lee? Okay, Mr. Lee, thank you very much. Next, I would ask representation from Mrs. Watts or Mrs. Watts herself. Please come forward.
It's Dr. Watts.
Dr. Watts.
I appreciate you giving her proper title as due, sir. You've once more demonstrated your prejudice and bias against her. Thank you for doing it on the record here. As you know, I filed a motion to recuse all of the board members, primarily because of your actions in allowing Ms. Katiba to come in here at this last board meeting and testify to things regarding this case and the case that Ms. Katiba complained about.
Excuse me, counsel. Doug Jennings, General Counsel for TDLR and the Commission of Licensing and Regulation. Could you explain maybe the substance of that motion? We did not receive a copy.
I sent it to Brittany. Did she not get it?
No.
So it was not before the board today because we were not properly served. So I would ask that unless we have proof of proper service, we would not discuss this.
Well, I filed it with the ALJ through the SOAH system.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
so Mr. Berkman's got a copy, who was the prosecuting attorney, which is who I understood was going to be here today, was the prosecuting attorney. Ashlee didn't have anything to do with the case.
Dr. Gola, if you don't mind, I'd like to maybe retire into executive session so I can look at this motion and properly advise the board.
I have no objection to that.
Okay, pursuant to Chapter 551.01711 of the Texas Government Code, this meeting of the Texas Board of Veterinary Medical Examiners will now go into executive session. It is 10:45 a.m.